Let me tell you something. When someone troubles you, they don't just interrupt your peace. They try to own it. But you've got to understand something right now. Your peace is not for rent. You feel the sting. You feel the disrespect, the betrayal, maybe the lies. Maybe it's the silence that cuts deeper than any word ever could. But before you react, before you let your emotions dictate your direction, I want you to pause. Because power doesn't show itself in noise. It shows itself in control. You see, most people operate from pain. People don't always mean to hurt, but they act out of their own wounds. Their chaos tries to make a home in your calm. But you are not their battleground. You are the builder of your destiny. Don't let their behavior rewrite your character. Don't clap back just because you can. Restraint is strength. Silence is sometimes the loudest message. And when you do speak, speak with clarity, with dignity, and with intent. That's called discipline. That's called mastery. That's called leadership. You ever felt that tightness in your chest when someone pushes your buttons? That inner heat rising, that urge to say something sharp, to lash out, to make them feel what you're feeling. That's natural. It's human. But here's the truth that separates those who grow from those who stay stuck. You don't have to react to everything that disturbs you. When someone troubles you, be it with words, actions, or silence, it's easy to feel like you've got to respond right then and there. Like your dignity is on the line. But understand this, Ras, your reaction is your responsibility. That discomfort you feel, that irritation, it's real, but it's also a signal. It's your mind and spirit telling you, hey, something's off. Let's pay attention. Not, let's explode. You have to train yourself to recognize the emotional response before it takes control. Awareness is your superpower. Without it, you're just reacting. You're handing over the keys to your peace, your reputation, your energy. But when you stop, take a breath, and actually examine what you're feeling, you take the power back. You're not denying the pain. You're managing it. The person troubling you may not even know the damage they're causing. Or maybe they do. Either way, you don't hand them the remote control to your emotions. Because once they see they can control you with a word or a look, they'll keep pressing your buttons. And if you keep reacting, you become predictable, easy to manipulate, easy to knock off course. Now, this isn't about being passive. It's not about being silent in the face of disrespect. It's about being intentional. There's a time to speak, and there's a time to be still. Emotional intelligence is knowing which one to choose and having the discipline to follow through. You want to be someone who makes moves, not someone who just makes noise. So when that moment comes, and it will, pause, just pause. In that pause, there is power. In that pause, you reclaim your narrative. You remind yourself, I am not my emotions. I have emotions, and I control how they move. Let others rage. Let them throw their words like weapons. But you stand firm. Calm isn't weak. It's rare, and rare is valuable. That moment when someone troubles you, it's a test, not of them, but of you. Who are you going to be in that moment? Reactive or reflective? Will you match their energy? Or will you rise above it? Because here's the thing, greatness isn't proven when things are easy. It's proven in the tension, in the heat, in the pressure, recognizing the discomfort and choosing not to act on it blindly. That's power. That's maturity. That's growth. So the next time you're troubled, remember this. Don't let someone's chaos make you forget your character. Breathe. Think. Move with purpose. That's how you win battles without ever throwing a punch. When someone hurts you, when they lie to you, disrespect you, gossip behind your back, or treat you unfairly, your first instinct might be to get even, to clap back, to let them know they messed with the wrong one. That's the natural reflex. That's the ego talking. But here's the truth that very few people ever mastered. Revenge may feel good in the moment, but understanding brings peace that lasts. Most people who cause trouble in your life are not operating from a place of clarity. They're not whole, they're hurt. And here's what we often forget. Hurt people. They strike out, not because they're strong, but because they're struggling. It doesn't excuse what they've done. It doesn't make it okay. But it helps you see the game for what it is. You stop playing checkers. You start playing chess. Now, understanding someone doesn't mean you allow them to keep hurting you. It doesn't mean you justify their actions or invite them to stay. It means you stop allowing their behavior to control yours. You don't have to stoop to their level just because they threw the first stone. Why? Because your power is in your restraint, your perspective, and your self-respect. There is something profoundly powerful about being able to say, I see what you did. I know where that's coming from. And I still choose not to respond in kind. That's not weakness. That's control. That's growth. That's leadership of self. You see, revenge is short-term. It's a hit of satisfaction that fades fast. But when you seek understanding, when you look beyond the action and into the heart behind it, you gain wisdom. You start noticing patterns. You start understanding people's triggers. And most importantly, you learn what not to carry. You weren't put here to carry someone else's baggage. You don't need to carry their anger, their projections, their insecurities. You need to see it for what it is, their problem, not yours. When you understand that, you start to detach from the chaos. You stop asking, why would they do that to me? And start realizing, this says more about them than it ever did about me. Understanding doesn't mean staying close to toxicity. It means releasing the emotional grip it has on you. It means choosing clarity over conflict. It means walking away with your head high, not because you didn't care, but because you cared enough about yourself not to stay stuck in their story. When you stop needing to get back at someone and start focusing on getting better for yourself, you graduate to another level. And on that level, peace becomes your priority. Progress becomes your focus. And people who once troubled you, they lose access to your energy because you no longer operate on reaction. You operate on purpose. So the next time someone tries to trouble your spirit, ask yourself, do I want revenge or do I want freedom? Because only one of those leads to healing. Only one of those turns pain into power. And only one of those is truly worth your time. There's a point in life where you've got to decide what matters most, being right or being at peace. When someone troubles you, when their actions, words, or energy try to pull you out of character, it can feel like a direct attack on your worth. You might want to explain yourself, prove something, argue, defend. But let me tell you this, peace is not something you find out there, it's something you protect inside. To see your peace is your foundation. It's your clarity, your creativity, your center. Without it, you can't think straight. You can't move with purpose. You can't hear your own inner voice over the noise. That's why it's not just a nice concept. It's a non-negotiable. You've got to treat your peace like it's sacred, because it is. When someone troubles you, it's easy to give away your energy. You replay conversations in your mind. You carry their words on your shoulders. You start to internalize things that were never yours to carry. That's how they start living rent-free in your mind. But the truth is, if you don't owe anyone unlimited access to your spirits. You see, people can only disturb you if you open the door and invite them in. That's why setting boundaries is crucial. Not just physical boundaries, but emotional, mental, and spiritual ones. You have to get clear about what you allow into your life. Not everything deserves your attention. Not everyone deserves your reaction. You can love people from a distance. You can care without carrying. You can forgive without returning. Sometimes protecting your peace means saying less, walking away, choosing silence over the argument. Not because you're weak, but because you've ground. You've realized that not every battle is worth fighting. Not every opinion is worth addressing. You've got bigger things to focus on. Your goals, your growth, your healing. Let's be real, this isn't easy. It takes strength to hold your tongue when your pride is shouting. It takes courage to stay still when everything in you wants to lash out. But here's what you'll learn. Peace is more powerful than proving a point. Peace gives you vision. It helps you think clearly, act wisely, and move forward instead of staying stuck in the storm. People may misunderstand you. They might misjudge your silence as surrender. Let them. Because you don't need to explain peace to people who are addicted to conflict. You don't owe your energy to situations designed to distract you. Guard your peace like your future depends on it, because it does. When you protect your peace, you protect your purpose. You become a person who doesn't just survive the chaos. You rise above it. And in a world full of noise, that kind of calm becomes your power. So the next time someone tries to pull you into their storm, remind yourself your peace is your priority. Your peace is your power. And nobody gets to take that away unless you hand it to them. Don't. In life, you will be tested, not just by circumstances, but by people. Some will misunderstand you. Others will deliberately provoke you. And in those moments, you'll feel the pull to react, to respond fast, to clap back, defend yourself, or say something you'll later regret. But the truth is, your greatest strength doesn't come from how loud you can be. It comes from how purposefully you respond when you're under pressure. Respond with purpose. Not impulse. Impulse is the easy path. It's automatic. It's raw. It feels good in the moment, like letting the steam out of a boiling pot. But here's the thing. Reactions born from impulse often cause more damage than the original offense. You might say something sharp, do something reckless, or make a decision based on emotion that sets you back days, weeks, or even years. And for what? To prove a point. To win a temporary battle. You're not here for temporary wins. You're here for long-term growth. So when someone troubles you, take a pause. Not a long one, just long enough to check in with yourself. Ask, is what I'm about to say going to help or hurt? Will this move me forward or keep me stuck? Is this who I really am, or am I just reacting to who they are? That moment of reflection, that pause, is where purpose lies. And it's in that space where true strength shows itself. See, anyone can react. It doesn't take training to fire off a sarcastic comment or throw anger back at anger. But it takes character to rise above. It takes discipline to channel your emotions into clarity. It takes wisdom to recognize that your energy is too expensive to spend on battles that don't matter in the long run. Purpose means you choose your words and actions not based on what was done to you, but based on who you're becoming. It means you respond in a way that protects your future, not just your pride. You might still address the issue. You might still confront the disrespect, but you do it with intention, with composure, and with strength that doesn't shout. It speaks firmly and clearly. Your response is your reputation. It tells the world who you are. It tells you who you are. So when you're being tested, let your purpose lead. Let your vision for your life guide your reaction. Think about the person you're trying to become. Would they react like this? Would they stoop down or stand tall? You are not here to win petty arguments. You are here to build something: peace, legacy, purpose, impact. And none of that can grow in soil that's constantly shaken by impulse. So the next time someone brings drama, provokes you, or tries to pull you into emotional chaos, remember this: you don't owe anyone a reaction, but you owe yourself a purposeful response. Let your values speak louder than your emotions. That's how you protect your power. That's how you keep moving forward, unshaken. There comes a time when you realize that being a good person doesn't mean being a doormat. That kindness doesn't mean saying yes to everything. That love doesn't mean allowing someone to cross every line and drain your spirit. One of the most powerful things you will ever learn in this life is how to say no without guilt, how to set boundaries without apology. Because the truth is, you teach people how to treat you by what you tolerate. When someone troubles you repeatedly, when they disrespect your time, your space, your energy, you don't have to explain why you need distance. You don't need to draft a long essay to justify your limits. Boundaries are not about rejection. They are about protection. Protecting your peace, your focus, your mental health, and your purpose. And if someone takes offense to your boundaries, that usually means they were benefiting from your lack of them. A boundary isn't a wall. It's a filter. It lets the good in and keeps the harmful out. And here's the thing. Not everyone deserves front row access to your life. Not everyone should get the same level of energy from you. You can still be respectful, still be kind, and still love people. But love them in a way that doesn't cost you your sanity. You don't owe constant access to people who bring chaos into your world. Setting boundaries is not selfish. It's necessary. It's one of the most mature things you can do. It says, I know my worth. I know what I can handle. And I'm not going to betray myself just to keep the peace with someone who keeps breaking it. That's not arrogance. That's self-respect. You see, when you lack boundaries, you end up tired, resentful, confused. You start to forget who you are and what you stand for. You feel drained and wonder why. But when you finally draw the line, when you say, that's enough, you reclaim your energy. You start showing up in the world stronger, clearer, more grounded. Yes, it might upset some people. Yes, they might accuse you of changing. But the truth is, you should be changing. You should be growing. And not everyone is meant to come with you to the next level. That's not cruelty, that's life. Boundaries are how you tell the world, this is what I allow, this is what I won't. And the people who truly respect you will respect your boundaries too. Don't shrink yourself to make others comfortable. Don't keep saying yes, out of fear that they'll walk away. If someone leaves because you started valuing yourself, let them go. Better to lose someone who doesn't honor your boundaries than to lose yourself by constantly breaking them. So when someone troubles your peace, your time, or your values, draw the line. Stand on it. You don't need to yell. You don't need to explain. Your calm, clear no speaks volumes. Because every time you set a boundary, you tell the world, I matter too. And that right there is power. Pain is a part of life. It comes in many forms. Betrayal, rejection, disappointment, loss. And when it shows up, it can knock the wind out of you. It can make you question your worth, your direction, and even your purpose. But here's the truth that turns victims into victors. Pain is not meant to paralyze you. It's meant to propel you. You don't run from it. You don't ignore it. You face it, and then you transform it into power. When someone troubles you deeply, when they wrong you, betray your trust, humiliate you, or try to break your spirit, it hurts. And that hurt is real. But you have a choice. You can stay in that pain, replaying the moment over and over, asking why it happened, or you can take that pain and build with it. Let it fuel your growth. Let it sharpen your character. Let it raise your standard. Because when you harness it, pain becomes a tool, not a trap. Think about it. Some of your greatest lessons didn't come from ease or comfort. They came from discomfort, from pressure, from being stretched beyond what you thought you could handle. Pain is a spotlight. It shows you what's broken. It reveals where you need healing. It exposes your weaknesses so you can strengthen them. But most of all, it wakes you up to your own power. You are stronger than you think. But strength isn't built on the mountaintop. It's built in the valley. It's forged in the fire of hardship. You don't become powerful by avoiding pain. You become powerful by learning how to walk through it without letting it poison you. And that's the key. Don't let pain turn you bitter. Let it turn you better. Someone tried to tear you down. Good. Now you know how to stand taller. Someone doubted you. Perfect. Use that as fuel to prove them wrong, not through revenge, but through results. Someone betrayed you. That's painful, but now you know how to discern character and guard your heart. The people who hurt you don't define you. What you do with that hurt does. Pain is a pivot point. It's the moment where you get to decide, is this going to destroy me or develop me? That decision is yours, not theirs, not the one who hurt you, yours. And when you choose to turn pain into purpose, you become unstoppable. You become someone who doesn't just survive storms, you rise from them. So don't waste your pain. Don't sit in it for too long. Feel it, yes, honor it, but then use it. Let it drive you to heal. Let it inspire you to build. Let it push you to dream bigger, speak louder, and walk taller. Because the power you're looking for, it's buried beneath the pain you're carrying. Dig deep. Extract the lesson. Take the hit, but come back stronger. That's how you transform pain into power. Not by avoiding it, not by hiding from it, but by rising through it and letting the world see what resilience really looks like. In life, you don't control everything. You don't control how people treat you. You don't control their words, their moods, or their intentions. But what you get to control is how long you let them stay in your mind, how much space you give them in your heart, and how much energy you allow them to drain from your spirit. You control your focus. You control your direction. And when someone troubles you, the most powerful thing you can do is shift your attention from them to you. Too often, we give too much attention to people who do not deserve it. We overanalyze their behavior, replay their words, wonder what we did wrong, and sometimes even try to fix what isn't ours to fix. But here's the truth. Not everyone deserves your attention, and not everything deserves your reaction. There comes a time when you have to ask yourself, why am I giving so much of my life to someone who isn't giving anything good in return? You can't grow while looking backwards. You can't build when your hands are full of resentment. You can't hear your calling over the noise of constant conflict. So when someone troubles you, you have to decide, will I stay stuck in their drama, or will I step forward into my purpose? Because the direction of your focus determines the direction of your life. Your focus is a magnet. Whatever you dwell on grows. If you focus on the pain, the betrayal, the anger, they get stronger. But if you choose to focus on healing, on growth, on becoming who you're called to be, then you get stronger. You rise above. You redirect your energy from proving yourself to improving yourself. And here's the thing. Healing doesn't require their apology. Moving on doesn't need their permission. You don't need closure from them to find peace within yourself. What you need is discipline. Discipline to stop feeding the fire with your thoughts. Discipline to shift your perspective from, why did this happen to me? To, what can I learn from this? That's how you take control. That's how you break the cycle. So when someone troubles you, let that be your signal not to fight back, but to focus forward. Redirect your attention. Pour into your goals, your health, your mind, your spirit. Start building the life they said you couldn't. Start walking in a way that shows you've outgrown the nonsense. Because nothing speaks louder than growth. Nothing is more powerful than someone who chooses peace over pettiness, purpose over pride. Let them talk. Let them die. Let them go. You've got work to do. You've got dreams to chase. You've got healing to walk through and greatness to step into. And none of that can happen if you stay focused on someone who was only a chapter, not your entire story. So take your power back, not with rage, not with revenge, but with love redirection. Lock in, focus up, and move forward because your future is too valuable to be held hostage by someone who was never meant to stay.